Welcome, ladies and gents. So, today I'm going to be doing my inaugural toy review. Uh, Today it's going to be the Last Night Wave 2 Deluxes, along with the Toys R Us Mission of Cybertron Deluxe class figures themselves. Alright, so we're going to kick this thing off with Deluxe class Squeaks. Now, Squeaks is an interesting character. The character himself is actually very small, so I was kind of surprised to see him show up in the Deluxe class, but he does come with quite a few accessories here that really kind of help throw him the price point, even though I still think 20 bucks is too much for a Deluxe ever, but I guess that's just where we're headed these days. Alright, so first thing you notice, he's got this big gun on here. That's not necessary. It's just kind of a convenient storage place for it because there isn't really anywhere else to store it. I'm going to take that off. Kind of looks a little more, realistic there. So, you see he's got his trailer. It's actually attached by a ball joint, which is meant to come off, which kind of makes me a little nervous, because normally ball joints aren't really supposed to be popped off in normal circumstances. Kind of, probably some concerns there about wear and tear and losing that friction on the joint eventually. So, this is just his scooter mode by itself. It's got a little kickstand there to keep it up. Kind of actually cause the wheels to levitate off the ground a little bit, but yeah, well. Alright, so, in the movie, you never actually see Squeaks transform. They actually give a justification for it in the movie. He was like broken or something, but, wouldn't be a very fun toy if it didn't actually turn into anything. So, we're going to go ahead and change the scooter part into robot mode first. So, what we're going to do is kind of pull the wheels down here, bring this back up, this opens to reveal his little head assembly. See, right there. So you kind of flip this out, put the little headlight eyeballs down, right there. Now in the movie, Squeak's eyes are supposed to be made out of the headlights here, but it's not very practical from a real life toy design perspective because the size is way off. Anyway, so I flip that in, flip his little nubby arms out here. Alright. Then, this part kind of gave me a little bit of trouble at first. You gotta get his headlights to pop in that hole there. Clip them in. Ooh. Right here. Is he in there? Okay. In there. And then you're just going to have the head pop in like that. So, here you go. Old Squeaks. Turn the axle. Bring these forward. Alright. That's the basic robot mode. You're going to notice he's lacking any sort of hands. And we'll kind of see where those went. Oh, kind of important to note, you're supposed to keep the kickstand deployed for this because he doesn't stay up without it. Kind of needs that to stay, So, set him to the side. Here's the trailer part. Turns out this little trailer has a very Optimus Prime-esque, vibe to it, because it opens up into like a little mobile repair bay. If that sounds familiar, it should. Flip all these things down. Alright. Look at that. So then, get a little crane arm here. Alright, it's pretty neat. You have these, which, I'm going to be completely honest, I don't really know what they are, aside from just kind of cool looking. But you also have this kind of old school looking toolbox here. Inside the toolbox, what's that down there? Get down there. Oh, you can see this is where you store his little accessories. Get. Thank you. So, these little handlebars And pop into his little arm stubs here. To... Oops. Alright, to replicate the hands that he has in the movie, which are made up of his handlebars. Yeah, I know it kind of leaves with some extra ones here, but, you know, whatever. And then, you have this little arm, which, if you can get a good look at it there, it's a full-size robot arm, because in the movie, come on. This thing needs to be better focusing. Alright. Movie actually loses this arm, gets blown off. They replace it with an old salvaged Decepticon arm. So he gets this big old oversized arm that he goes the rest of the movie with. Pretty cool, right? Neat little feature. And the arm can hold that big gun that we had on the trailer earlier. Oops. Makes him very front heavy though. Or for more movie accuracy, you can actually have the arm just, or the gun just attached directly to the little arm stub. Ah, jeez. He does not want to play ball right now. Bend your arm. Bend it. All right. To kind of simulate the bigger arm transforming directly into these cannons like they did in the movie. Oh, wow. He is very front heavy. So, yeah. Whoop. Oh no, this is what your $20 gets you. Still a bit on the small side, you know, even with everything attached. But, you know, it does definitely get points for originality, for detail, you know, and surprising amount of movie accuracies for, you know, really a minor character. So, you know, is it worth $20? Well, I think so. Just for something unique. So a quick edit. I'm off to a great start. You know, first video, I already have to edit this thing after the fact. I realized that I didn't properly transform Squeaks' little belly here, so I wanted to go ahead and just kind of show that the way it's supposed to be done real quick. It's kind of a pain to pop out. There we go. So you pop it out there. Actually rotate it 180, and it goes up. Kind of slides right up under the little neck handlebars. All right. Okay. That's how he's supposed to look. And that's, you know, makes it much more movie accurate. So, sorry for the little mess up. But, yeah, that's Squeaks in all his glory. All right, next up we have the Last Night Drift. So, a bit of a misconception about this toy. A lot of people think it's a straight redeco of the Age of Extinction toy. So, I have that here to compare them side by side. You can see they're actually quite different. The Last Night version is a fair amount bigger than the Age of Extinction one. So they've been completely reshelled. But not only that, it really changes the way they transform. Because if you look, the front of the car, on this one, this is where his upper body is, you know. His feet are here, you know, at the rear end. On the new car, his feet are down by the front end. So, you know, it was a really interesting way to rework an existing toy to make it almost like something completely new. So, we're going to go ahead and transform this guy. Take his little swords off here, little, you know, undercarriage storage, and then I'll pop that door open there, pop that door open there, fold them up. They're gonna become like a shoulder armor, as you can see. Pull this up, detach it, separate these halves. They're gonna be his feet. Alrighty, this part just kind of pops open like that. This separates a bit. Let's see here. Alright. Shoulders down. And bring that up. Forgive my poor memory. Okay, that's right. This folds in like that. And this guy, there we go. Rotates down. Bring it all up. No. There we go. All right. So, here's his robot mode. Wait. Whoop. This is robot mode. Very, very reminiscent of his Age of Extinction version, despite all the differences of the toy itself. Back here, you can see he's got storage for his little short swords, which I'll go ahead and pluck off there. Oh boy. All right. All right. So that's him. So it's good to have, still has the same options as his earlier toy. It's got short swords, long swords. All right, and here he is again with his older counterpart. You can really, these modes really let you highlight just, what's the same, what's different with these figures. As far as which is the better one, I think it comes down to personal taste. I think New Drift is a bit cleaner looking overall. Not really as crazy about the red color scheme. I kind of preferred the first Drift's blue. It's blue and gold. But yeah, both pretty solid figures. Some of my favorites from the Age of Extinction time frame, Lost Night time frame. So there you go. There's New Drift. So next up on the roster is the Lost Night Slug, because slag is a bad word in some countries and yada yada, censorship, blah blah blah. But anyway, this toy, unlike Drift, is a straight redeco of his previous toy, which is over here, Age of Extinction Slug. Let's see, they are the same toy. The Last Night version has been colored to be, more movie accurate. Slug wasn't, this garish purple and red color in the movie, so they decided to give him another lease on life, make it a little more appealing. And I do have to say, I like this color scheme a lot more. So you can see he's got the, little sword things sticking out. This is where the instructions tell you to store them. It's not really any other place to store them. I think they look kind of, tacky on it, so for display purposes, I would probably keep it like this without the swords and just keep them, stored somewhere. So let's go ahead and transform this guy into robot mode, and we'll compare him to Age of Extinction Slug, see how they, match up there. All right, so first thing we're gonna do. Let's see, I gotta move his arms around a bit. We'll flip the tail up, get that out of the way. Flip these down. Extend the legs. This isn't definitely not in the order the instructions have it, but that's fine. I like to try to do everything by memory. It keeps me sharp. Let's see here. Should I separate the head already? So his head splits down the middle like that. There we go. Just flip these little panels around. so fold his hands like this, close his arms up, same thing over here. His dinosaur mode front legs actually peg into his sides right there. There's one. The other one. I gotta say, his joints are really tight, which is kind of surprising because I have heard things about this mold and its several reuses that joints have gotten loose over time, but I don't know. I'm not seeing it here, which is good. Excellent. Okay. So, this is his robot mode. And naturally, he holds his swords in this mode. So, go ahead and plug those in. I feel like it should go this way. Oh, it just looks better to me. No, that doesn't look good. I don't really like the way they fit in his hands. They look weird. Alright, there we go. So this is Slug. Very nice kind of gray and gold color scheme with some black mixed in there. It's got a pretty cool head, very knightly. Swords look pretty powerful. Let's go ahead and compare him to his cohort. Alright, so we have both Slugs. Again, this is essentially the same figure. So, you know, pretty cool looking robot. Again, kind of wins points for originality here, just like old Squeals does. So, you know, which one's a better version? I don't know. Again, it's up to personal taste. I do kind of feel like, I don't know, the newer color scheme is a little more appealing. You know, it's the type of colors I think of when I think of Dinobots, you know, gray, goldish. But, you know, the AoE figure is good in his own right. Alright, moving on. Alright, so these two I'm going to do at the same time because they're essentially the same toy. So on the right here, you have the Wave 2 Deluxe Steelbane. On the left, you have the Toys R Us exclusive Skeletron. In Dragon mode, you can't tell any difference between the molds. Really, the only difference between the two is the robot mode head. So you'll be able to see that here in a bit. So I'm going to transform Steelbane, show you the transformation. Do the other guy off camera to save you guys some time and, you know, boredom. So let's get started here. As you can see, he's got a sword stored kind of on his back there. A little gaudy looking, not necessary. You know, if you prefer to have it off, you can always have it off. One thing people complain about with this mold, and it's definitely a valid complaint, is that it's a little flimsy. The ball joints, especially here on the front legs, just kind of flops around a bit, you know. His wings do kind of fold out if you want to put him into a sort of flight mode. So you can see, you know, look pretty nice extended. I love the texturing on these things. I kind of went the extra mile with that, I feel. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and start transforming this guy. So his head and his tail are actually like the robot mode legs. Twist the head around like so. Kind of push it in there. Pull feet down. Bring the tail in. Foot. Floppy. Woo. It's like a dead chicken. Alright. Flip that part back. Gonna open this up like so. This actually rotates around. It swings down. This bit also rotates. I'll swing it in. Connect the two halves of his pelvis together. the legs. All right. Okay. The little chest area kind of slides down a bit. Hold on. That's right. This has to be like just right. Like slide the rest of the way down. There we go. Yeah, positioning really matters with this thing. All right. Bring the back in. And you're supposed to kind of peg in there. Not really peg, but the ridges have to line up on this. Turn these. Kind of gets these cool little arm guards made from the dragon feet. All right. There's that floppiness again. It's very back heavy because of the wings. Even when you have them like folded pretty tight against his back, he doesn't like to stand up very well. Kind of has a Vector Prime kind of vibe going on there. All right. Here's his sword. I'll just put it in there. Standard 5mm hole there. Alright, so this is Steelbane. See, he has this very knightly face. Right there. Yeah. Alright, man. So you can see he's a very knightly looking character. So I'm going to go ahead transform Skeletron off screen. Alright, and this is Skeletron's robot mode. You can see they have the same body. Yet Skeletron has this really horrific skeletal face, hence his name. He's also supposed to look like he's covered in what appears to be rust and verdigris because he's supposed to have this kind of very dilapidated appearance. So these are both very, very cool looking figures. One is kind of a very pristine looking Dragon Knight. The other one is one that's seen some things, you know. He's been around. He's been through a lot of war. Again, appearance-wise, is both great. They do lose big points for being very, very floppy, but they do have an interesting transformation. You can, you know, if you want to really complete the Dragon Knight aesthetic, you can always like extend their wings out here. This guy's wings are very tight, by the way. I don't know if every copy's like that, but mine is. You know, it's like they're made to look as if they're flying. Very cool. All right, and we got one more to go. And the last figure we have for this review is Mission to Cybertron, Deluxe Class Megatron. If you don't already know, he is a redeco and slight retool of Thrilling 30 Deluxe Class Megatron. Very similar paint layouts between the two of them. Not a lot changed there. I do really like the colors on this guy. You can see here he's got little Cybertron glyphs on his wings, which actually do write out the name Megatron on there. Not a whole lot going on in this mode. There's no, you know, missiles or anything that fire. It's very simple. It does have the landing gear here in the front. So we're going to go ahead and transform to robot mode. First thing you do, remove the wings. Separate his arms. Pull those shoulder panels out. Like so. Oh, where am I? Rotate the arms here. I'll fold his fists out. His legs, you have to pop off from their tabs. Rotate. A lot of rotating. Line his feet out there. Alright. These panels are supposed to be rotated out a little bit just to kind of add some width to his lower legs there. Alright. So this little bit up here, I'm going to detach it. It flips up a little bit. Swings around, and tabs in right there. Do the same thing on the other side. Bam. Alright. Flip his torso down. A little front of his ship mode, or sorry, ship mode, his bomber mode, pegs in. Alright. That's his full robot mode. Those little wingtips. There's a handle inside one of them. Two of them pegged together here. That, and this actually acts like a little lever. And pull back. These extend. They become this fusion cannon. It's very good design. You know, it's been used on several figures over the last few years. I think since 2013, if I remember right. No, 2014. Yeah. Very sleek. He has a new head that's based off of Megatron's head in the new movie. To be honest, I wasn't originally planning on picking this character up, just because, you know, he's kind of a far cry from how Megatron actually looks in the movie. Plus, I already have two versions of this mold. And then I was out of Toys R Us, and I saw it, and the color scheme, which is just absolutely beautiful. Look at that. It's good lighting for you. I mean, it just stood out to me, and I decided I really wanted it. I was going to go ahead and blow my money and just get it anyway. And here he is in his, you know, robot mode with, you know, other uses of the mold. You have, again, the IDW Megatron, or Thrilling 30 Megatron. You also have Thrilling 30 Dreadwing, who was a very clever use of that mold, by the way. I just want to add that. So, I mean, is he worth it? I mean, he was enough to get me to, you know, triple dip on this mold. He does look very nice, I'm not going to lie. Yeah, he's not movie accurate to how Megatron looks in the movie, aside from his head, but as a standalone figure, he's great. You know, joints are nice and tight. I would actually say they're probably tighter than those on Dreadwing, which makes me wonder if they didn't go back and touch these molds up, because, like I noted earlier, Slug is surprisingly tight as well. So, yeah, I mean, if you see one at your Toys R Us, I'd recommend picking it up. So one last look at all these figures together. So, you know, all in all, pretty impressed with this wave of figures, plus the two exclusives. Say definitely a stronger showing than the Wave 1 Deluxes, which I haven't reviewed yet, but should here shortly. So, yeah, I mean, this has been my first toy review. I do hope it was informative. I hope it was. Hope everything was clear to see. Hope I was interesting. Um, for anyone who watches this, if you want to add any, put any comments below. Let me know what you'd like to see, what you liked, didn't like about this video. Um, you know, anything that just kind of stuck out. Please feel free to write. I'm not afraid of criticism. And with that, hope you all have a good night, and thanks for watching.